My name is Rhapsody, and welcome back to Curse of the Dead Gods. We're going to be going into Sishal's Awakening here in long exploration in the Serpent Temple. Oh, accidentally exiting the menu the first time. It's that's just so that I can manipulate the RNG that we can get in the run. We're going to get really good weapons and items now. Yikes. I think I'm going to take the very safe path of a bunch of gold, a relic, and then a weapon before we go for the first boss. Elite, rather, sorry. Rather than the other paths that all promise, well, either you get no items. Get him. Either you get no items, or you get a bunch of corruption. And especially now that there are actually 3 areas, I don't really want to take the extra corruption if I can avoid it. I still do have to focus on picking up as many crystal skulls as possible because there was some spicy, spicy blessings out there that we did not get to take. Because we couldn't afford them. That was an early roll and I knew it the entire time. Why did I do it? Extra 100 damage to that. Wait, I learned my lesson about light sources last episode. It's time to start actually utilizing it. My greed kill timer is not lasting as long as it did in the previous run because I don't have the relic for it. Gotta keep that in mind. Gotta keep up the pace if I actually want to have the greed combos. Plus 100% to all healing effects. That is a very, very strong relic. Possibly related to the increase in quality of the gear that we find and generate. If I had to guess, it might have a little something to do with that. Plus 20% base damage for daggers. Give me a dagger. Swift bow. Yeah, I'm still fine. Got a ranged weapon. Alright. No extra gold here. There we go. Yeah, I was worried about getting cornered here, but thankfully we fired basically exclusively perfect shots there. So we managed to get them away. Barbed shield? I mean, I have a ranged weapon, so I don't necessarily need the bow. Sorry, need the pistol to be my ranged weapon anymore. Okay. So that little burst of energy kills increasing movement speed for 5 seconds. So it appears you get like a free dash after you use a bow. Like, yeah. Shot and then dash. Shot and then dash. Right, so it gives you the ability to reposition if enemies get too close to you a little bit more easily. I like it. I think I've noted that before, but it's not using any stamina at all. Which I don't think I noted before. I only realized there because I had no stamina and I was trying to panic roll away, and yet I still managed to dash. Okay. Wait, we know this room now. It's this way, and then we cut out this way, go past these. Cut out this way, go collect that. Right, yeah, that's just it. And then we loop around this side. Up here for a little bit of extra gold as well. And get the heck out of here. Love it. Yeah, this weapon needs more damage. Firing three perfect shots into an enemy and then still having them come and almost attack me is not great. That's not like a balanced consideration I'm saying there of this weapon needs to have more damage to be usable. It's like, for me to use this weapon against these enemies in this situation, I would like it to have more weapon. I'd like it to have more weapon, please. More damage, even, if you could fit that on too. You get a fire bow, much better than the previous one. Removes corruption per enemy killed, as well as scales with dex, and has fire attacks. Don't we have a... No, it's poison attacks that we have an extra bonus to. But we could just find a relic that's, you know, plus damage to your fire attacks, something like that. That was the dash again. Coming in clutch. Okay. Got him. Dealing critical damage. Does what? Deals critical damage against burning enemies. Okay, cool. I have a weapon for lighting enemies on fire. So maybe I tag them and then go in for melee? I mean, if I just stayed at range, I would have done that flawlessly. I don't know if the extra critical damage from that is actually worth it. Maybe if I get a relic that increases our critical damage as a percentage. Maybe then. But at this rate, it's like, you know, if I tag an enemy with burning and then I go in and start hitting them with that weapon, it's as though I just have a good, normal main hand weapon. But it's conditional. Also, it's worth noting, obviously, you know, I want to get the greed kills. Sorry, not the greed kills. I want to get the... I want to get the kills on the bow because it will reduce our corruption. Okay. Very, very glad that these on fire... No! Almost. Very, very glad that these on fire enemies lit the torches in this room. Because I was worried about suddenly walking into a poison trap. Although there are no poison traps in here, so we were fine the entire time. It's just I'm very glad to have the peace of mind, you know? Heal 10% of a gold offering amount. I mean, we're about to get a lot of money. Like, on this whole path. It's just, like, all money for a while. I guess we'll heal by 300 at a gold offering or something like that. That's decent. Fire charge attacks and fire combo finishes. You know what? I kind of want that instead. So the reason I want that instead is because this one's still not that great, and also it has a very slow attack pattern. But I'm already incentivized to pick up any relic that says, you know, plus 45 or plus 30. Probably not plus 15. I don't know if that'd be enough. But plus 30 or plus 45 to fire attacks. I'm already incentivized to pick up that relic. So I might as well pick up a second thing, all other things equal, that will benefit from the relic that I'm planning on picking up, you know? Right, I do have a shield. Forgot about that, actually. Oops. Dropped a perfect or two there. It'll happen. Yeah, I can't keep that greed kill timer active. I was thinking about running through the center of that room to try and get to these enemies up here. But that would have involved, you know, rolling through the middle of the room so that I don't take damage to the trap. And then I'm suddenly running out of stamina right before I'm about to engage an enemy. And that's exactly the kind of lesson I've been trying to teach myself. Just drill into my head constantly that I shouldn't be doing. Nah. Maybe if it had a couple modifiers on it. But also, that's just not a particularly good champion killing enemy for... It did do okay against the first champion, I guess. It's just really garbage against the second. But also, by the time we get to the second, we're probably going to replace our second-hand weapon, so, you know, how much that's actually a viable concern is, I think, fairly up for debate. Ah, you got me. We have, yeah, plus 20% base damage for daggers, so I might as well take this dagger instead of the shields. Poison. Ow! Please stop haunting me this entire time. I like that all of my enemies are just getting on fire and then standing in the poison, so they die to the poison explosions. I love that that's happening. Actually, maybe I am underestimating the power of the, what do you call, Jaguar bow. Because the Jaguar bow always comes with fire on. And that is a ranged way of triggering all of those poisons. As well as a ranged way of lighting sconces, which is, you know, pretty important. Cadaverous infestation. I'm so keen to get rid of this. But also in addition to that... One sec. Well, I remember exactly what I was trying to say. Also in addition to that. The... Fire, Jaguar bow. Yeah, but also in addition to that, in this area, tagging enemies with fire and then just moving behind a poison pit, specifically this area being the Serpent Temple, seems like a very viable way to play. Like, it did serious work there. Them back. God, that's a lot of enemies for you to be spawning. Even if they were only one hit apiece, it's still a lot. Sorry about that. 2% of max health when an enemy is killed by the environment. That also incentivizes the same way of playing before that we were talking about. It's unfortunate that killing enemies with the environment is a lot of the time... Ow. Going to deal more damage to us to actually attempt to do. Okay, that's one down by the environment. I'm glad that missed. That actually was an instance of auto-aim being really bad. You could see that I kept trying to lock off so I wouldn't hit the enemy, but I would hit the poison instead. This game is recommended to be played with the controller, and I tend to just play action games with controllers. And especially when you have, like, you know, a weapon per button, as well as, like, obvious, clear goals on the shoulder buttons that are kind of, like, timing controlled, those kinds of things. Like, it really does feel like the optimal setup is to be using a controller. But auto-aiming on weapons like that, not great. Not great. I have mentioned in a comment before that if I continually find spaces where that's true, that auto-aim is actually pulling away from us, and if it happens commonly enough, then I might try and see how this works out on a keyboard. But at the same rate, I do think ultimately the experience is going to be better on the controller for me. There's no poison in this whole area. Wait. There's no poison, but there is a trap in the middle of the room. Come on! There we go. Got 1 kill by the environment. Got 40% of my health back. Thank you for the extra environmental kill there. Alright. And we are back to doing okay. Plus 50% to all weapons base damage, as well as plus 50% to all damage taken. Yep. I think that's an incredible idea. Now I just need a good weapon. Oh, I really didn't think that was going to track me as hard as it did. Rude. Yeah, that's the annoying thing about all of these extra bats being summoned, is in rooms where you have a lot of enemies to combat, and therefore you have an opportunity to get a very high greed timer. So many of them spawn, and then your life is just really bad. You have to spend so much of your stamina just taking care of them. It's really actually quite annoying. This is probably like one of the worst curses in my estimation. I say that because even the other ones that have downsides usually have an upside paired. Such is not the case for this. It's all downside, baby. There's no benefit to all of these being spawned. They just suck. Plus, also, I think this is like a bigger downside than a lot of the other curses have as a downside, even when those curses have a positive to try and balance out their downside. This is like, if the other ones are 50% downside, 50%, not 50% downside, it's like one downside and one positive. This is 3 downsides. No positives. Aww. Why can't I have 3 positives and no downsides? Plus 20% base damage of the secondary weapon is a shield. Rude. Plus 20% if seconds a pistol. I think I'm gonna reroll. These are all second hands. Probably not gonna take any of these. Yeah, I'm fine. I like the fire on my ranged weapon. Go again. Ooh, plus 3% per point of perception. Is our main a mace? Our main is not a mace. So this already has ridiculous damage for what reason? Oh, plus 20 from poison. Oh, Accursed Codex. That'll do it. It's a chance to inflict poison damage, as well as a chance to deal extra damage to poisoned enemies, as well as I can get another 20% on it if my main weapon is a mace, and it scales with perception. But I also have no perception stats yet. Ooh, negative 10% to damage taken, plus 10% to base damage. Yeah. Yep. That's it. Very good. Now I will build my dex as high as I can. We actually have 2 stats directly in a row and a lot of money. If we want them. Wait, we don't have a lot of money. Where'd we spend all our money? On one relic, I guess. Oof. What's my combat plan here? It should just be Blazing Shield, right? Yes, and we cannot interrupt that attack with the shields. Maybe I need to be more strict about waiting on a pattern, right? So I wait for the enemy to attack. I go in for anywhere between 3 and 4, whatever I feel safest with. Shard shield bashes. That was really bad. Bad roll, Ryan. When they teleport back to the mid, they're almost immediately going to attack. Although the attack that time was summoning landmines. Yeah. Taking a lot more corruption and poison than I would like right now. I think another key point is I need to manually position myself to be in a good position to roll against the attacks the enemy does. Because sometimes I roll to put myself in a good position to start rolling against them. And not only is that using stamina right before I plan to use stamina, so, you know, I can sometimes leave myself out high and dry with none. But it also has the... Oh, good. Cadaverous is gone. It also has the secondary impact. One sec. Removes 1 corruption per enemy killed, plus 20% if the base... I mean... Ooh, that's a pistol, though. God, they both get the plus 20, though. Like, they both get plus 20% base damage, because this is a sword and this is a pistol. I think we have to go with that. We're just stacking ridiculous base damage. And, you know, we'll continue to do so because we're going to be going for dex, 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 and dex. We might actually also consider dex at some point. I hadn't considered that. This is me just demonstrating that I have like a very, very strong genre focus on the channel. Even in this game, I'm a dex builder. Alright. I mean, every weapon removes a corruption for us right now, so we have no limitations. I think it's actually a good way to think about it. Yeah, I just hate these skulls. Need a better way to deal with them. I also have no weapon that does extra damage to... no weapon that does extra damage to champions or anything like that. Okay, so last time, instead of a skull in this room, there was a prophetess. It's 83 on the crit there. I mean, I guess that's okay. 83 on the crit. It's not bad. Go for a humble tiara plus heal 10% for gold offering amount. We're about to do some gold offering plus 20% for daggers. We just gave up the dagger, right? And we're now going with pistols, so we can trade the priest codex there. Okay, maybe I open more of these combats with a critical. I was hoping that I was going to be able to walk out of that so that I wouldn't have to roll, and in not having to roll, I would be able to utilize that stamina better. I'm getting really good at responding to the parry attack the enemy has. What was all that? Oh. There's the gold offering. Here's some healing for me, at least. Okay, I guess you can use healing at gold offering as anti-attrition, but... you know? It's just a bit rough. Okay. Got him. That not work? Oh god, yeah, they don't appear because, yeah, so I couldn't damage him. That just healed us a hell of a lot, though. Wait, a hell of a lot? No, it only healed us for one because all of the rest of them weren't considered to be in the fire. Rude. Okay. Okay. Got him. Woo! That was actually way better handled than I thought it was going to be capable of. We don't need a fire bow anymore, do we? Yeah, we've got Fire Smith and Wesson. And this also scales with Dex and has plus crit damage. Okay, we'll check out what we can do with this. It's very slow attacks, though. Gotta remember. I can't animation cancel. If I have an attack, I'm committing to it. God forbid I ever go for a heavy attack. Then I basically have to buy a wedding ring for it. Get extremely hard committed to that one. Oh god, this is working out really well, though. See, I really want to do gold offering here, though. Let me get some more gold find. I wanted to do the gold offering for the sake of the healing there. Okay, yeah. This might be a gold room. It also could be a haven. I'd be down for a haven at this point. It's not, but I'd be down for one. Actually, it does look like it might be a gold room. Okay, gotta make sure that I have the light up constantly. Otherwise, I'm gonna get ambushed by enemies again. I mean, 162 on a single hit. Well, I mean, it's a single crit. It's not a fair comparison, but still. Not bad. Alright. Anyone else around here? I've also got to remember that I do have a heavy weapon. One sec. There we go. I do have a heavy oh my god, there were enemies here. I'm gonna try and get you killed by the poison. Nope. Accidentally killed you myself. Plus 15 against weakened enemies. I think we're fine without that, actually. But I do have to remember that I do have a heavy weapon, so I have the ability to bash down these walls. If needed. Excuse me? That attack arc very, very clearly went straight through that enemy there. 2, 3. Yeah, this weapon doesn't need to do extra damage to elites or anything like that. It just does enough damage. Removes corruption per enemy kill. Yeah, that's fine. But they're much faster. No, they're a much faster attack, but it's no longer a sword. And the sword is giving extra damage to the pistol, which I'm not using. And the pistol, which I'm not using, is giving extra damage to the sword, which I'm not using. So that means I can't drop either of them. Wait a second. Really bad right there. How'd that enemy die while I was in midair? Alright. What do you got for me, chest? It's a duelist shiv. Evading with a no. Thank you. I think at this point, our best chance for money is to go over and do the time challenge, and then go and try and buy some stats. I actually think that's my best opportunity. Whew. Very glad I was able to get out of his way in time. 3. Yeah, the prophetesses can be killed really quickly. I just need to make sure that I get the first stagger off. Now, I mentioned this before, but as much as I might want to try and get all enemies to be killed by the environment, trying to get them killed by the environment is causing me to take more damage than I would heal by getting them killed by the environment, so I need to be a little bit more careful about that. I don't think I'm taking anything from the weapon shop here, though. I think it's really hard to convince me to do so. Alright, time challenge. What do you got for us? Immediately a champion prophetess. Actually, God. The whole room appears to be champions? I'm letting the money run down a little bit while I try and figure out exactly how I'm planning on combating this room. What the hell? It turned invisible and attacked me at the same... It's just rude. That's just rude. Eh, 550? You know? Because, and then, you know? Yeah, this run doesn't feel long for this world at this point. I mean, we get a haven if we get past the boss, but also, are we getting past the boss? The amount of gold on the ground increases, but it disappears after a short period of time. Is what we were just offered there. Alright, what have you got? Enemy attack steal? No. Wait. Oh god, no, the gold disappears. At least we got most of it, I guess. Just need to get to and buy the stats so that I can heal, so I can possibly take on the boss, so I can possibly get to the haven so that I can heal. It's a complicated series of events. Excuse me. Ultimately, simply for the goal of trying to keep me alive. And it feels very far-fetched that it'll actually end up that way at this point. Still gonna try. Alright. Thump. I mean, I like that we kill prophetesses in a single slam and a single whap. Extra max health and damage, thank you. That's a really significant heal. I mean, I gotta say, I am very, very impressed with heal for gold offerings. Although, I've got to also mention, we do have something that says plus 100% to all healing effects, which is making it twice as impactful. And in fact, wait. We have 2 as well. So it's 4 times more impactful than it usually might be. Ow. It really feels like this enemy is here to test whether or not I know how to parry. And unfortunately, the answer is no. I don't know how to parry. I die in that corner every time. I need more practice against that boss. We're starting to make better decisions in the run, and we're starting to counter our attrition much more comfortably. We're starting to get a better grasp of all of the different weapons in the game as well. We're starting to utilize light a lot better. We're starting to understand the variable, like the variable power levels of all of the different modifiers on different weapons and stuff like that. This is not a run where we lost, nothing happened, oh no, let's see if we win next time. It's, as with all of these kinds of early runs in a game like this, about learning. And I think it's important at the end of each episode to point out, okay, what can we learn from this? What have we learned from this? And what do we need to learn in the future to prevent this from happening again? So what do we need to learn in the future to prevent that from happening again? I need more experience fighting that second champion is honestly like the biggest thing, because we went in with half health. That's pretty good. I need better experience fighting that champion, which is only going to come at the end of a lot more runs of trying and possibly dying. We'll see that happen in the next episode and thereon. For the moment, though, my name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Curse the Dead Gods. Hopefully you've been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you next time.